Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to part 4 of my Kurosawa before Rashomon series. We are up to 1945, and this is The Men Who Tread on the Tiger's Tail, or They Who Tread on the Tiger's Tail. Again, I have this in the early Kurosawa BFI set. It's also available in the Eclipse early Kurosawa box set as well. This is based on Kanjinko, which is a no play. Kurosawa adapted it. It's only about an hour long. It's a very simple story, but it's done with such aplomb, and aplom's not the right word, and technical skill that does make it a very pleasurable hour. So it's a simple story. Lord Yoshitsune has fallen out with the shogun, so he is on the run because the shogun wants to kill him. It's obviously a bit of an argument. So he and his bodyguard Baike and other retainers are disguised as priests, and they're trying to get out of the region, and they have a porter to guide them through a mountain pass to get past a guard station, essentially a barricade, to get free and clear. So that's the kind of simple setup. I'm going to mispronounce a bunch of Japanese names now, so apologies. So Denjiro Ukochi plays the bodyguard, really the lead in the film. We also have Matsuyuki Mori, who plays the lead in Rashomon, so there's lots of familiar faces that you'll recognise from Kurosawa films. Takeshi Shimura is in his third out of Kurosawa's first 4 films, but again he's not really the lead in any of these films. Again, he's just one of the retainers. And we have Susumi Fujita, who played Sanshiro Sagata in the 2 Sanshiro Sagata films. He plays the guy who's in charge of the barricade and is trying to figure out whether they are real priests or imposters who need to be arrested. We also have Yoshio Kusugi, who plays one of the lead farmers in Seven Samurai. And we have Kenichi Enomoto, who was a famous comedian, singer, kind of theatre actor at the time. So he plays the porter, and he is there for comic relief, essentially. Some of the comedy perhaps hasn't aged as well, but it is of the time, and it's just, there's still some really funny parts of the film, but he's there for the comic relief, so he was kind of a big deal at the time. To appear in an actual Kurosawa film was a big deal at the time. This film has kind of, watching it now, there's elements to other Kurosawa films that would follow later. There's still the idea of nature and wind and the elements. The film opens with kind of a misty forest shot, which again you get kind of feelings towards Throne of Blood. The whole travelling in disguise thing reminds you of Hidden Fortress. The fact that Kenichi Enomoto's character is there for kind of comic relief again kind of makes you think of the kind of petty thieves from the Hidden Fortress as well. Obviously you have all these actors that you recognise the faces of and they would appear in Kurosawa films later, so you kind of get, you know, this is in some way a small template of what was to come. And from a technical standpoint, he brings out the wipes and the dissolves, the jump cuts. I mean, there's a scene later on in the film where there's just this dazzling array of cuts as we see each character's kind of expression to an event that's happened. It's just like a dazzling, it's almost like 8 or 9 cuts within the space of a couple of seconds. So they kind of start up the hill, the porter is giving us exposition, but not in a really exposition-y way, about how, oh yeah, they've kind of figured out the disguise that the people are trying to get out the country with, and then the kind of penny drops with the porter that it might actually be the people he's travelling with. And again, the scenes where they're at the guard station and they're trying to convince Susumu Fujita and his really nasty looking lieutenant, who's a lot more suspicious than Fujita is. That's wonderful and tense. You know, there's moments where you think they're going to get away with it and then another challenge comes up. I'm not going to get into spoilers or anything like that, or the events that lead up to them almost getting away or getting away. It's just an absolute joy. Again, some of the humour still works, some of it doesn't, but from a technical standpoint it's a wonderful film. From, again, an almost, you know, Brissonian economy. You know, like I said, it's just about an hour long. It doesn't need to be an hour and a half. It's based on a, you know, a famous play. It is very stage bound. There is a kind of artificiality to it, but that kind of lends it more kind of realism, if that makes any sense, which it doesn't. Just for spoiler purposes, there is no actual tiger. It's merely metaphorical. The tiger's tail. It's not a searing documentary about people standing on tiger's tails. It's just a beautiful little film. It's probably, well, it's arguably the best one so far. Even though it is slight, it is simple, but sometimes you don't need to be overly complicated. It's a simple tale about deception and identity, but it's just done so well, executed so well in a technical standpoint, from a technical standpoint, and it has some wonderful foreshadowing of Kurosawa's later films. There's little elements where you just go, I'll take note of that. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere later on in his catalogue. And it's got great performances, especially by Dajiro Ogochi, and it's good to see Susumu Fujita in a non-Sanshiro Sagata film. I'm not actually sure what happened to him as far as not being in later Kurosawa films, but he's certainly in the early ones. And again, so far we've had Kurosawa's first 4 films and Takeshi Shimura's in 3 of them. He's not in the other one for reasons which you'll know if you've watched the films. Yeah, so They Who Tread on the Tiger's Tail, or The Men Who Tread on the Tiger's Tail. It's got different titles and I never get the correct English title. Um, from 1945. It's a lovely little gem that won't take up too much of your time, but it's well worth checking out, even just for the reasons of a little bit of foreshadowing of Kurosawa's later work. So thanks very much for watching. Let me know if you've seen The Men Who Tread on the Tiger's Tail, what you thought of it, and hopefully you'll join me again for part 5 of Kurosawa before Rashomon. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films saying don't drink too much sake, and farewell.